Garage and Garage, a collective for July 2023. I'm gonna wait till a few of y'all get in here where I could give y'all some information on why I will be officially quitting Tyro. I know that some people are gonna freak out when they hear that message, but it's only because there's something greater out there, you know, that I'll be doing with the channel. So I'm gonna wait on a few people to get in here and to join. That's actually genuine that support me. So to some of you out there that may be worried about, well, he's leaving or whatever, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just leaving the whole tower thing out because all it does is breed more negative energy. I get tired of reading on the same situation over and over and over and over, and it gets to the point to where the energy's in my house, the energy's following me like energetically and spiritually, and it gets to the point to where I'm gonna put my damn foot down, and whoever don't like me switching my path and me transforming and listening to the Lord, because the Lord didn't assign me down here to this earthly realm to deal with a bunch of negative energy every day of my life. I'm not gonna be putting up with no type of negative energy, no attacks. I mean, sure, you're gonna be faced with spiritual battles sometimes, but it shouldn't be every day of your waking life. You gotta wake up and you gotta fight off negative energy to cleanse your home continuously. It shouldn't be that way. And tarot is a great gateway to invite negative energy in your home. Now, I mean, you can read tarot in a positive way, but my calling down here, bro, I was called to be a psychic investigator, but I've completed that purpose, I want to say about maybe a month ago or so. I've served my divine purpose at being a psychic investigator. I'm done with doing those readings, bro. It's like every time I try to do one, it's like the Lord talks to me, tells me things. He's like, look, that's not really made for you, son. That's not really made for you. I know you enjoyed it, but it's like it got to the point to where I no longer feel the spark of passion. And it's not because I got bored with it. It's because the Lord keeps trying to guide me to something bigger and better that I could do with my abilities, my spiritual abilities, that's going to rid a lot of that negative energy out my home and out the spirit world and energetically, to where I don't have to continuously have to stand up and actually protect myself when it comes to that. Because there's all kind of spiritual things out there, brother, that you can do to connect to the higher power, to actually have a healthy spirit. Being involved with what I've been doing, I want to say about maybe a couple months ago, whenever I was a psychic investigator, to where I would investigate certain things for y'all. I love doing that with a passion. It's not y'all problem. I'm the one that was actually called down to do that. But at the same time, the Lord has said, son, you passed. You passed the test. You stood up against a lot of spiritual attacks, but it's not in your destiny to continuously be faced with a lot of demonic attacks when you are defeating them every day of your life. The more that you read on the energy, the more it's going to breed more and more and more and more and more. I don't know how many other people out there are aware of that. And some people may be feeling like, they may be thinking that they're manipulated to take certain content down. How you don't know that that's your soul trying to tell you that something is just making you uncomfortable? Something is making your spirit uncomfortable. There's something that's trying to guide you to tell you something. Who's to say that's manipulation that's doing that? Because there's a form of guidance, bro. If something don't set right with you and it makes you uneasy, something just ain't setting right with you, it don't matter if it's tarot or not. It could be something else that you may be doing, and you feel like something's pulling you back from something, and yet you feel right about doing something. Like, let's say if you was going a certain direction and yet you feel pulled back to go a different way. Who's to say that that's not your intuition talking to you? But yet the manipulation that's being done can actually serve you for your most highest good in the long run, because the Lord is trying to guide you, because he's more powerful. If y'all understanding where I'm coming from. But to those out there that could have experienced something like that, but when it comes to negative energy, I refuse to read tarot anymore. I'm done reading tarot cards, bro. I'm done sitting there giving all these messages. I mean, I know people that appreciate my messages, but I'm going to tell you what's going on behind the scenes in the spirit world, which y'all can't see. And I know that y'all take my information, it helps you gain a peace of mind and clarity. But at the same time, I'm the one that was called to be in that position, but yet I got to fight every day of my life and be draining my energy. I'm not going to be putting up with that. I'm not going to put up with me being in a damn situation, which I literally don't have to be in that situation to start with. I don't have to be in that position to start with in order to continuously battle and stand my ground. I have to be here for the collective, for my genuine supporters. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to let it be known. I'm going to draw some boundaries real quick. I'm going to let people know that if they don't agree with my decision making and what the Lord wants me to do, they could get to step. It's like I said in that post, it's my damn destiny. The Lord put me in control of my destiny, and I'm going to obey what he wants me to do. I'm not going to sit there and be manipulated to stay doing something that I'm really not happy at doing anymore, because there's something else that makes me more happy. I'm not going to put out there, but there's something else out there that makes me more passionate, makes me more happy when it comes to my spiritual side, And when I fully make it through the transformation, then I will gladly express the new journey. But I'm not going to sit there and explain myself or tell anybody what my purpose really is, because I really don't know. But I know the Lord is guiding me in a certain direction that's going to be more prosperity, that there's going to be more freedom, more prosperity, more freedom from what I've been going through, which I really haven't been talking about because I'm not a complainer. I'm not going to sit there and complain about shit that I can change. That's the facts. Complaining ain't going to get you nowhere. I chose to sit there and battle and fight against it, because I'm not no complainer, just like I said. But when it's time, when I'm fed up with something, and I continuously keep fighting against something, that right there is a sign in itself as to say, well, look, you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight. Why put yourself in this type of energy to where you have to fight off these energies, because you really don't have to fight with them. If you're not reading the energy and allowing it in your home through those tarot cards, then you don't have to fight. That's the facts. You don't have to fight. How many times you going to have to wake up every day and prove a point that you're still a winner, and yet it's like the more you read the energy, the more you're going to continuously be faced with it trying to come on at you like that, and yet you stand up relentlessly. How many more times you got to get a victory, son? That's what God is telling me. How many more times you have to get a victory when you done proved your point a long time ago? I tried to tell you that. But that's what it is. But when it comes to tarot cards, I'm not against tarot cards. It just, when it comes to the collective energy in these times in July, I'm going to be very specific. In July, in the last few months or so, and reading tarot cards, it has become draining. Some reads will be okay, like the love messages and like somebody going through transformations. I could read stuff like that. But overall, bro, it's like the Lord's guiding me to just take a break. He maybe want me to advise me to take a break from it for a little while and to get started with something new, But at the same time, I'm not going to be sitting there dealing with something that I really don't have to deal with. And just like I said before, I'm not a complainer. I'm not going to sit there and complain about things that I could change. That's exactly why I made that post out of the blue. And it may be a shocker to some people out there like, oh, man, he's quitting tarot. You're damn right I am. Because it's my God-given right. It's my free will. When I want to stop something, I'm going to stop it. This is my content last time I checked. This is my channel last time I checked. And if I want to stop something, I can stop whatever I want to stop, because I'm running this content that I put out there. That's the way I look at the situation. And I'm not saying it to be rude to anybody that actually understands where I'm coming from, but I'm just speaking from my experience. I really don't have to be dealing with none of that, and I'm not. That's why I'm not complaining about it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to what I want to do with my destiny, if I feel a transformation, I'm going to allow the change to occur, and I'm going to obey the higher power. I could care less about manipulation, witchcraft. That don't even concern me. That don't even concern me. What's concerning is the energetic flow of energy that deserves to be balanced, because you can't just have negativity all the time in a household. You have to have the proper balance between the negative and the positive. I'm not saying everything's going to be positive every day of your life. Of course, you're going to be faced with some challenges, But at the same time, when you have the power to adapt to change and you allow transformation in your life, therefore, the negative that has been occurring is going to change. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't agree to reading the tarot cards like I normally would. I mean, when it comes to the love messages, I don't have a problem with reading messages like that. Like the last few times I picked up on the twin flame, I can actually read that. And there's some people out there that may not be healed, they may look at it as toxic too. I can understand that. Because I went through a period of that whenever I wasn't healed from the false one, you know? And that right there is what triggered me. I had a whole year, bro, it took me a whole year and a half, almost damn near 2 years to heal from that. To be honest with y'all, because I used to get triggered in my readings. But now I can laugh at it. Whenever I say, oh yeah, they watching with the Page of Swords. With that Page of Swords energy. You know what I'm saying? That don't bother me. I can laugh it off. But when it comes to these other energies, bro, I'm not going to be sitting there having a set. Like, how many times are you going to get? It's almost like, how many times are you going to have to prove a point when you already proved it the first time? How many more times you going to have to sit there, bro, and literally defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat when you don't have to face it again by going along with the change? And that right there is what I was hard-headed to, because as a Scorpio, as a fixed sign myself, I don't really like change, but I'm not against change. I just don't really like going along with it, because once I'm fixated on something, once my mind is set in motion, bro, once my analyzation is set in motion, I'm going to get the job done. I'm not going to stop until I'm very determined, a very determined individual. And whenever my focus is laser beam like that, bro, that's when I'm going to, it's like my main objective is to get the job done. But the Lord been continuously telling me the job's done. The job's done, son. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to pat me on my back like that. You did the job. And it's like you keep going and going and going. And he's sitting there, he's like, come on, son. You know? I'm trying to tell you that you did the work. You completed the objective. You did it with, how can I say this? You did it with a full, flawless victory. You have nothing to be concerned about. So I'm like, what do you keep sitting there trying to prove? But it's not about proving a point like that. It's about continuously fighting something that I really don't have to be faced with ever again. You know? But it's just, when it comes to the tarot cards, I'm not against tarot cards. It's just the energy. It's the energy. Especially in these times, you gotta watch it, bro. Like, you gotta protect your energy, and that's one way to protect your energy. By not continuously reading on something that is just, and I know it can help y'all out. I can understand that. But to the ones that genuinely support me, and you know about tarot, you know about energy, you know about the spirit world, you know about how negative energies can really be, you will gladly understand where I'm coming from. It's not that I'm just going off of here, just quitting like that. No. But when it comes to the tarot, I refuse to read it, because the energy right now is very negative. And as long as somebody keeps reading the negative frequencies and energies, that right there is going to give the demonic spirits that's roaming this earthly realm more availability to continuously breed. It's a breeding ground. And the only way to stop it is to stop reading the energy. Because when you read the energy, you are continuously feeding into those demonic forces. That's exactly what that is. That's exactly what it is. You know? But when it comes to certain things that I'm being guided to do, which I won't speak about or whatever, but when it comes to certain things that I'm being guided to do by the Lord, that right there is going to bring wish fulfillment to my soul. It's going to bring me a lot of joy and a lot of peace on a spiritual dimensional level. Because a lot of people tend to look at things from a physical perspective. Oh, well, you know, the individual's strong. What's really going on in the spirit world, bro? What's really going on with your energy? That's what I view the situation as. What's really going on with the energy in the spirit world? Because the spirit world, bro, even though people can't see it, like some of us can. But I'm a clairvoyant. I was born a clairvoyant ever since birth. Even though some people out there, maybe they can't see the spirit world like that, but I can see both sides, bro. It's like I got both feet. I got 1 foot in the spiritual dimension, and I got 1 foot in the physical reality. So it's like I'm in a split type of personality. Like I'm in the spirit world 1 foot, and the other foot is in the reality side of it. That right there would be balanced. You know how the temperance card is with Archangel Michael? He's stepping in the water and he's stepping on that little rock. That's exactly what that is. And people that are not spiritual, they don't have those spiritual enlightened abilities or clairvoyant, like a true born gifted psychic, they won't understand what I'm talking about. And it's not just about tarot cards either. It's about you being able to see through things even without reading those tarot cards. It's already a challenge as it is. And a lot of people may be thinking that it's awesome to have those abilities. But at the same time, bro, you don't know the challenges that some of us out there are faced with on a daily basis. And there's no ounce of medication out there that can actually protect or to balance out what's going on in the spiritual dimension. Because some of the people out there, bro, really don't recognize or realize what's really going on because of spiritual. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of these individuals that have negative thoughts that may not be a clairvoyant, and they may have got diagnosed with some type of, they could have had like intrusive thoughts or whatever. Some of it could be stemmed to OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. Some of it could be stemmed by PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. But at the same time, a lot of this can actually be cured when they tune in to what's really going on a spiritual level, that they have a demonic spirit in their ear telling them things that is polluting their spirit. That's going to back up the statement I just made about sometimes medication ain't where it's at. Not when the problem is spiritual. And that right there, bro, is something that people need to become more aware of. That way they can protect themselves. And I'm not saying every spirit out there is going to be polluting, trying to get in your head and say, just like I'm talking in this camera, you got beings around you everywhere you go. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody, it's the truth. Because the spirit world is just like the physical world. You got beings around that you possibly can't see. And I'm not saying that to scare you, okay? Because I'm used to stuff like that. I can see it all the time. I can see spirits, bro. I can sense spirits. When my hair stands up on my neck and I get like a cold chill, that right there is going to tell me whether or not if it's a good or bad, that's a bad spirit. That's something to be aware of. You feel like a certain uneasiness, like one time, like you step in your house and you feel like an uneasiness in a certain part of a room. That right there is a sign that there's a demonic presence that's present. Now, when it comes to good spirits, you're going to have to learn how to use your level of discernment. But just like I was saying a few minutes ago, a lot of people don't understand that their main problem could be spiritual, which is why they're having intrusive thoughts, which is why they're having all these negative thoughts that's clouding their judgment and yet bringing them down. So is it really something to do with the mind, or is it something that's beyond the physical flesh of the body, that's in the spirit world, that is sitting there trying to torment you? It's called the spirit of torment. It's called the spirit of torment. It's called a spirit of manipulation. It's called a spirit of deception. You can have the total of 3 demonic spirits that are in your ear telling you to do things, feeding your mind with a bunch of illusions, a bunch of chaos, and a bunch of confusion in order to try to mentally manipulate you on a physical level. And yet some of these individuals may have tried to take physical medication to try to cure it, but yet they can't seem to find a cure because they really don't know that their problem may be spiritual. That right there is something that I'm well aware of. I have had to battle that several times. That would be a crown chakra attack. Crown chakra attack is all about not receiving the truth of the illusion that is being spoken to you from the spirit world, from a demonic entity. That's what that is. And you see me talking about this, it's actually, even though I'm talking about the negative side of it, it's not as toxic as reading those tarot cards. Because I know that this type of information can help a lot of people, especially when it comes to the tarot community. And just like I said, I'm not against tarot cards. I'm not against the tarot readers out there, or the oracle card readers, or whoever they are. Okay? Even if they have a practitioner out there, this is not about saying anything to down all that, because there's something that needs to be spoken to where they can see it for what it really is. And me just reading tarot cards, but that's really not where you're gonna find healing at. I mean, yeah, they do help with obtaining certain information. It does strengthen your abilities. It does. I do agree upon that. But when it comes to truly healing yourself, bro, like, you're not gonna find it in a work of art that has been put on cards to actually amplify your psychic abilities. But is it amplifying your healing? Is it really helping your healing? Because no matter how much you read in those cards, bro, what about the combating what's going on in the spiritual dimension? You know? My purpose here is to balance out the negative energy with the positive energy. You have to have a balance. You can't just have an off-balance type of frequency every day. That right there could have been what was going on with the channel too. I take accountability, because if I choose to read it, then the energy's gonna be there. I'm not gonna put the blame on anybody else. That's why I told y'all I don't complain. But I finally have realized the signs that the Lord has been trying to give me, and he's been speaking to me. He's been telling me, son, you would be much better at doing something a little bit different. You can still be spiritual, you know? Just kind of give the cards a break right now. Kind of give them a break. Confirmation, as I said that. He's trying to tell me that right there will be a part of the judgment horn. Y'all heard the beat? But anyways, getting back to the message. He's like, you don't have to quit it forever, but there has to be some type of balance, and especially to the individuals that are inspired by you, that watch your content, that genuinely support you. Y'all don't need to be dealing with negative energy or being triggered. I mean, it's good to be triggered at sometimes. I do agree to that, because it does trigger a lot of healing. But do you continuously want to be reminded of things that is just low vibrational energy? Really question that. I'm responsible for the content I put out, bro. That's the facts. And I know I can't help what energies that come through the cards, but what I can help is the information I provide y'all with that I'm choosing to just take a break on. Because it's just too toxic, bro. This could literally be affecting a lot of people, not just me reading my cards, but it could just be bringing a lot of negative energy. You know? A lot of negative energy that y'all really don't need. I mean, like, when I speak on y'all situation, I know that's got to be triggering. I can understand. I have enough compassion to understand what my supporters be going through behind the scenes. I'm not a selfish individual. I can understand where y'all coming from. Whenever somebody puts a comment or whatever, and I could genuinely feel that they're being genuine towards me, that it's a real individual that's going through something that is toxic, when I see their comment that they won't stop, they won't give up, I can literally see the individual breaking down, crying some nights. They're in a corner, like they feel cornered, bro. They feel trapped. They feel like there's no escape out of the situation. That right there, bro, I can see that. You being spiritually bullied, bro, like something trying to spiritually bully you and back you in a corner. And my readings are damn sure it's not. I mean, it could provide a little bit of clarity and help, but it's not going to provide the help that the Lord can actually give you. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I'm going to be chilling out with the tarot for a little while, okay? Because I do have respect for my genuine supporters out there, even to the ones that just hit the like button. They don't have to leave a comment, nothing. Just a like, bro, that's greatly appreciated. I don't look at it as a form of numbers. I look at it as a form of lives that actually support me. And I'm not going to be sitting there. There's a lot of things, bro, that's been on my chest lately, believe it or not, when it does come to my genuine supporters, because I may not show any concerns about y'all mental health or well-being, y'all spiritual being. I be analyzing shit, bro, behind the scenes, believe it or not. I'll be sitting there, I'll be quiet about it, though. I just be sitting there analyzing a lot of things behind the scenes. And even though I may not be showing any concerns during my read, I may come across as very blunt sometimes. Let me tell you something. Your well-being matters. You understand me? Your well-being matters. I may not know you personally. You know, you may be somebody that may be way across. You could be across the ocean as far as I know. But if my information is helpful to you and you've been going through something behind the scenes, just know I take into consideration how other people's energy really is. And I mean, I know it's my content I put out there, but I have viewers that support me, that actually look up to me out there. And I'm going to tell y'all, just like I said before, I'm humble enough to let y'all know I don't know everything. I just know things from experience. I'm never the one to go out there, bro, and just look down on people or to brag about this, brag about that. I'm not one of those individuals. But when it comes to y'all well-being, when it comes to y'all spiritual well-being, and y'all going through things that you may need clarity on, of course the cards could help somewhat. But at the end of that read, bro, it's like you're waiting on another read, ain't you? I already know because I've been through that. I'm actually guilty of that right now. I'm not afraid to admit to it. I would actually watch other people that would investigate, like they would use their psychic abilities and investigate things. And whenever I see a Scorpio reading, I'd sit there and be relieved only for a little bit, like, oh, finally. But yet, there's that negative energy again. So does the read really, it helps you with clarity, but at the same time, you still are left with some type of missing piece. That's the way I look at it. That's the truth, too. So does tarot really, is that really the ending answer? Is that really the final answer? Or is it somewhat the answer, but yet leaves you questioning more? And I mean, it is the truth. Like, what I read in those cards, bro, I pick up the energy. The energy is correct. It is accurate. Because you can see all the comments like, damn, bro, you're on point, you know? But at the same time, that's just an energy read. Energies change every day. Sometimes the energy won't change. Sometimes it leaves an echo of itself behind. So is it really the same energy, or is it an echo of itself behind? But I'm going to tell you why the energy keeps on living on and on and on, because it's continuously talked about. That's what I meant about a breeding ground for narcissistic. It's like a narcissistic demonic spirit. It's almost like a portal, that like a never-ending portal that keeps on pouring out the same energy. When you continuously are talking about the same thing over and over and over, that right there is exactly why it's still existing. Because it's the energy that's continuously talked about. Therefore, it keeps it on breeding. That's what that is. And in order to get that under control, there has to be a limit with the tarot. You know what I'm saying? Just tarot in general, even the love messages, you know? Which, personally, I don't mind reading love messages. I don't mind reading the twin flame messages and helping people on their journey when it comes to that. Some of you out there have already been through a false one, though. And they could have a new one that could have tried to do something. Like, you remember how I picked up with this practitioner or whatever? Some of you out there may be transforming some type of practitioner. They may feel very uncomfortable at what they're doing for their job or something. And yet they may be low-key paying attention to you behind the scenes. and you helping them out, it's because they themselves know that that's not the right path for them. Especially when they see you in your power like that, bro, and everything they try to do to try to get you in their life didn't work. There's obviously a problem somewhere. They're even receiving some form of enlightenment, you know? But my main concern about this video is the energies that have been occurring the last few months or so that's been toxic. And I know not everything out there is going to be positive. I can understand that. But at the same time, not everything going to be about negativity all the time either. Just like I said, I put my foot down. I'm going to let the spirit world know, hey, I'm in control of my kingdom. If I don't want something in my house, I'm gonna tell these spirits something in the spirit world. If I don't want something in my house, it ain't gonna be there. If I don't want negative energy on my property, it's not gonna be there. If I don't want negative energy in my energetic field of energy, it's not gonna be there. I'm telling you what it's gonna be like. Cause I'm the boss in the spirit world. When it comes to my kingdom right, I'm the boss. And what I say is gonna go. If I don't want that negative energy around me, it simply ain't gonna be around me. It's not gonna be in my house, it's not gonna be around me, it's not gonna be in my kingdom, in the spirit world. Access denied, and the only way to keep it that way is when you refuse to keep on feeding that negative low vibrational frequency of energy. By continuously reading the not necessarily the same thing over and over, but it's just something similar to the same thing. You know? People want like people want the energy to change, then there has to be a change within their atmosphere. You know? Hold on, y'all. It's like people want to change. People want things to change. But there has to be a change within the atmosphere. I know y'all probably hear like a fan in the background. I know it's kind of loud. But just hear me out, y'all. Hear the message, okay? I find I channel better outside, especially in the sunlight, even though it's hot. But at the same time, it's good to get sunlight here and there. A good 30 minutes or whatever, if it's not too hot, you know? But just like I said, I know y'all could probably hear the fan in the background. But if you tune that out, you can listen to the message, you can hear the message, you know? But at the same time, y'all, to those out there that have PTSD, I perfectly understand where you're coming from. I have PTSD myself, post-traumatic stress disorder. But I also know how to get it under control. I have it very well conditioned. I have conditioned myself by mental exercises, by literally training myself to see what's really going on, to distinguish a triggering mechanism that goes off, to distinguish it from what's happening in the present moment. And that right there could be a bit of a challenge. So to the PTSD patients out there, even to the vets out there, I clearly understand where you're coming from when it comes to certain flashbacks. I mean, I may not fully understand where the vets come from, but when it comes to the PTSD awareness out there, I perfectly understand by the trigger mechanism that goes off in the mind. I know exactly how that is. Sometimes you get angry. Sometimes you can hear a certain noise and it just irritates, makes your blood boil. It just brings you into the survival mode type of energy. I know how it is, bro. I know how it is. But you know what? I look at PTSD as a form of, that's how your mind, that's a form of strength for your mental health. You develop strength every time something I mean, I know it's triggering in a way, but I look at PTSD as a form of, that's where you develop most of your mental strength from. Because believe it or not, bro, like, you have to have an iron mind to still be here, go through what some of y'all out there been through. So really look at the situation for what it is. You still here, even though some of you out there, you may not even be taking medication for it, but to the ones, even if you do take medication, just hear me out, hear the message. You are still here today after everything that you have been through, after every flashback or whatever was triggering to you, that triggered you into that survival mode type of mentality, and you felt like it was the end of the world, but yet you still here watching this video. You still here listening to this message. You know who kept you here to hear this message and to see this man in the camera? The good Lord above. Because he knew how strong your spirit was to combat those type of flashbacks, those type of triggering mechanisms that will go off in the mind. And if anybody out there don't understand PTSD, you're looking at a man that greatly appreciate, how can I say, I greatly appreciate the ones out there that have no problem. How can I explain this, y'all? I kind of got thrown off key for a little bit, but just hear me out. I greatly appreciate the ones that are actually vulnerable enough in my older reads. That's what I was about to say. That was vulnerable enough in my older reads. I want to say this was about maybe 5 to 6 months ago or so. Somebody was commenting on there, and I'm glad that they expressed their vulnerability, and yet some of them felt like that right there was breaking them down. Their PTSD was breaking them down. I let them know that that's not going to break them. But at the same time, get it back to the message. When it comes to the PTSD, people out there that have that gets triggered to the extreme, and yet you still here, I want you to know that you have somebody in the camera that greatly understands where you're coming from. And I understand on all levels how that affects your spirit, how it affects your mind, how it affects your family, how it affects your relationships. I understand that. And I'm going to tell you right now, just because you have those episodes don't mean that you deserve less. Don't mean that you have to go through toxicity. You have to be put down. You have to be talked to like you don't matter. No, you do matter. You do matter. You do matter. If there's somebody out there that may not have loved you or understood your PTSD episodes, let me tell you something right now, bro. They got somebody out there, and I'm being serious with you, because I don't like people that judge you because of what you went through, and yet you avoid, like you are real enough to express that to somebody, and yet they got the nerve to try to say that they don't like that. Well, guess what? It ain't meant to be liked by everybody. It ain't meant to be liked by everybody. It ain't meant to be accepted by everybody. You understand me? I'm going to show you some tough love, and I'm going to allow you to feel that you're understood from this message. I'm going to cut through all that bullshit, because that's exactly what it is. They couldn't handle your situation a day in their life. They wouldn't know how to battle some of the things that you battled. Some of these spiritual battles you went through, they wouldn't know how to cut it a day in your life. They wouldn't know how to even take a step forward to face what you was faced with, to actually pass the type of inaccurate judgment up on you like that, to make you feel less than. Less than, that's what I mean. But I'm going to tell you right now, brother, like there's somebody out there. There could be an opposite sex of you. You could be a female. There may be a male out there to understand you, okay? If you're a male, there's going to be a female that's going to better understand you. When it comes to you having some type of episode, or you having some type of issue that's spiritual, or you could have, it could be PTSD, whatever it may be. If somebody truly loves you, bro, they're going to be there by your side. You understand me? They're going to be there by your side. Because the Lord wants you to be nurtured. They want you to be taken care of. They want somebody that can actually have enough compassion to sit there and actually understand you through the episode that you're going through. Okay? Simple as that. You have to literally sit there and to see things for what they really are, and to understand that not everybody out there is going to be against you. Not everybody out there is going to take out, like some of these individuals that you was with, bro, will literally put you down for you having a PTSD episode, right? You would have like a panic attack in a car, a panic attack just walking, having a walk. You being in a store somewhere, all of a sudden you get panicky and it's like, I gotta leave the store. That person that you was with that put you down, that started trying to make you feel like you stupid or something, to make you feel awkward, they the ones that are awkward. They the ones that don't understand not a damn thing of what was really going on with you on a spiritual level. Somebody with enough compassion to understand would be like, I already know what's going on. You actually take a step, you actually try to talk to them to calm them down, as I say, hey, things may not seem like it's all right now, but it's gonna get better. It's okay to experience this. You're not in trouble. You're not gonna be viewed upon as, man, don't even worry about these other people looking at you while you're having an episode like that. Don't even worry about them. You're allowed to have that happen to you. You're allowed to go through the episode to actually acknowledge the fact that it's not a problem with how other people perceive what you're going through. What's a problem is how they're viewing it from a one-side track perspective when they have no clue what you be going through in the mind, what you be going through on the spiritual level. How I would handle a situation like that, I would literally look at the individual as to say, look, it may not seem like everything's okay right now, but it's going to be all right. It's okay to have that episode. These people, I'll tell you, bro, whoever this was that was in your life and try to make it out to be a problem, they made it worse. They made your effects worse. It's called amplifying something instead of distinguishing something. You're supposed to be able to diffuse a distress situation. Simple as that. Just like, for instance, the firefighters or whatever. You notice how they jump in the truck and they go and they put the fire out, right? They can't get out there and panic and just do whatever. They have to show up. Even though they're kind of in a rush, it may look like they're panicking, but they're not. They have to put their gear on to actually get ready to suit up because they may have to save a few people in there. It's not that they're panicking. They're already conditioned, well conditioned on what to do. That's basically the situation what I'm talking about. They know how to handle the situation to get it under control as best as possible. Even though it may look like they're really not. They just have to rush in order to save lives, bro. That's exactly what's being done. They don't really know who's in that building, bro. They don't know who's in there. They don't know if it's empty or not. That's why they gotta search it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when it comes to the PTSD episodes that some of you may be going through, like you can hear a certain sound, like a loud sound, and that may just throw you into a whirlwind of, I want to say it's like a flight or fight response to the mechanisms of the brain, the neurons of the brain that gets stirred up. I understand that. But when it comes to somebody amplifying the effects rather than distinguishing and trying to diffuse a situation, it's going to make it worse. You can't have an intense type of frequency and yet feed it with intent. You can't do it. Like, this just like, it's not funny. It's just the way I pronounce that. Sometimes I laugh at myself by the way I announce certain things. Like, I don't know, y'all. It's just funny how I explain some of the things. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted, believe it or not. But it is some serious shit, though, bro. Like, you can't approach an intense situation with an over-amplified intensity because all it's going to do is amplify it even more. I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, if you want to learn how to calm somebody down, you could calm them down by having the exact frequency. How can I say this? The exact opposite frequency of what they're already in. You can't show up to the situation with a panicky vibration. See how some people are quick to freak out and like panic like that? That's the worst thing you can do in a distress situation. And PTSD has taught me that a lot. It has actually taught me self-awareness, believe it or not, bro. To become aware. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And a lot of people may not look at it like that. A lot of people may not think about a deep breath doing a lot of things to them to calm them down, but it will. But if you focus on your breathing, bro, you do this one time, look. Pay attention to how your brain feels. Pay attention to how that triggering response, it responds to the brain when you take that deep breath. What it does is it relaxes the flight or fight response, the mechanisms that are going haywire, you know? And some people out there don't know the effects of how well that can actually they don't know what can really help them when it comes to that. But that's one of the things that can help. And a lot of people may blow it off as I say that, man, deep breaths, that don't do nothing. But they're not focusing on how quickly the situation can escalate rather than focusing on, okay, well, if I was to react this way, it's because once the emotional, impulsive response signals are triggered, that's it. That's it. Because then it's another situation they're gonna be faced with. That right there is where self-control comes in at. And it's all about having control over that emotional, impulsive response. Emotional, impulsive response. And if somebody has an emotional, impulsive response to a situation, then that right there could be dangerous in a way. Just like I said earlier. If something is already stressful and distressed, and they feed it more with freaking out even more, that right there is going to amplify what should have been diffused. See, I'm good at giving advice like this. That keeps the vibrational energy very balanced. It balances a lot of things out. And it helps people with the answers that they're really looking for to actually calm them down. I can feel that. I don't need tarot cards to do that, bro. As soon as I said that, the saw, exactly, I'm cutting straight through what needs to be seen. That's the way I interpret that saw that just went off. That saw blade. See, that's how quickly, bro, like you just catch on to things. You use your intellectual knowledge. See that right there, bro, that's a spark of creativity. I look at that blade as a form of a creativity to spark my inspirational speech even more, as I say that that's a sign that I'm cutting straight through something in order for y'all to see what's really going on. You know? But to the ones that have dealt with a lot of something about triggering or whatever, you was triggered a lot, and you had these other people that was around you, I don't care. Like, it don't even have to be a lover around you, ex-lover or whatever. It could be one of these so-called friends or family members that just want to try to talk down on you. That's not your people, bro. That's not your people. That's not your people at all. If somebody wants to try to put you down due to an episode that you're going through, or you're going through a very challenging situation, and yet they're not doing anything to help it, but yet trying to make it worse or trying to make you out, to make you feel stupid about yourself, you need to cut them people off immediately. because that's not your real, genuine people. Just like I said, bro, earlier, if I was ever in a situation with somebody freaking out with some type of PTSD or having a spiritual attack, like they couldn't really understand what was going on, it's all about knowing how to approach the situation with the exact opposite frequency than what they're already in. I'm not one that's going to be panicking. I mean, I may be a Scorpio, bro, but it's like I still got that grounded energy about me. Like they're literally going to feel safe as I say that, bro, everything's okay. But when they're around somebody, bro, when you're around a negative spirited individual, that right there, your spirit may not be compatible with them. It's going to make it that much more worse and make you feel even more sicker. Because that spirit does not want you to be okay. And if you're in a situation where somebody's making it worse for you and your anxiety's worse for you, you need to get away from them. You need to get away from them. Now, when it comes to the exact opposite situation, where somebody's freaking out, not having a panic attack, but somebody's freaking out about, oh, they lost something. Oh, they lost this, they lost that. You know how to handle that situation? Think back the last place that you put the object. Think back the last place that you put the object. That's exactly where it's at. You know what I'm saying? That's when I handle it with that neutral energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that serious. It's not the end of the world. It's not lost. It's just in a place to where you don't remember where you put it. You know what I'm saying? It's still there. You just don't remember where you put it at. But once again, you start telling the individual, oh yeah, well, I guess it's lost. Then that right there is going to trigger it even more. It's going to trigger it even more. Because then they're going to start believing, what if they did lose it? It's not lost. It's not lost. You know? But when it comes to certain situations, especially when it comes to tarot, see, this type of advice right here can help people more than those tarot cards. I can feel that intuitively. You know? I can feel that intuitively that this message is helping a lot more than tarot cards can help. You know? Somebody said it's still there, lady. That's probably something I would say too. It's still there, lady. You know what I'm saying? It's right where you put it, lady. That's what y'all was waiting on me to say. You know? But yeah, y'all, that's basically what I have for the inspirational video. Just like I said, even though I may be quitting reading the cards for a little bit, I'm not quitting on my spiritual journey. It's just something different I'm being guided to do with the channel. That's all that it is. So nobody needs to freak out about, oh, yeah, he's going. No. No. But at the same time, y'all, I'm glad that y'all took my advice. To the ones that this does resonate with, you know. Hold on. I'm glad that the ones that are out there that may be dealing with a situation, you took my advice on this video, and my advice helped you. I mean, that's really all I could do, y'all. I mean, I can only say so much, but I feel like my point gets across more than looking at some tarot cards, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, like, when it comes to my subscribers on here that genuinely support me, to the ones that hit the like button, that subscribe to my channel and send me donations, etc., that leave comments in the comment section, that's always support me for a long time, I will show concerns towards what energies that y'all be looking at, y'all be listening to. And just like I said, I know it's not my fault what energies come through the cards, but when it comes to me reading negative energy, like an everyday thing, that's out of respect for y'all. And it's more so to respect the Most High, because he has been trying to guide me as to say, hey, son, you don't have to quit tarot forever, but for now, you need to quit. You need to quit. It's not the end of the world. You just need to give it a break for a little while. Give it a break. Do something different. Do something different. I appreciate the super chat, y'all. The $4.99. Hey, if y'all wanna, I don't know if y'all Cash App works wherever y'all are at, but YouTube takes a 0.5%, like at a super chat that goes to YouTube, and a 0.5% goes to me. So if y'all want to send a full donation, that's why I tell y'all to just Cash App me on there. But I mean, that's fine if y'all want to super chat, but I figure I'll let y'all know what happens to it. It's just the way they got it set up. I think it's still that way, but yeah, I think half of it goes to them and half of it goes to the content creator. I mean, they could have changed it. I want to say that was about maybe a year and a half ago. I read it. They must have updated it or something. I don't know if they updated it or not. But I'm glad that y'all could find inspiration in this information. And once again, this is not a negative message. This is not a message to put down tarot, because tarot is actually enjoyable when the energies are balanced. But as far as the investigative reads and reading all that, that right there, bro, gonna have to be chilled for a little while, you know? And like I said earlier, that could come across as a shocker to a lot of people, like, oh man, Scorpion man leaving. I'm just leaving tarot for right now. The Lord's calling me to do something different, like I'm doing in this camera right now, giving y'all some helpful advice and tips. That right there is a change in itself. I'm changing something up right there in a positive way, you know? But at the same time, bro, like, if some of you out there, some of the readers may know that information, that's experienced with tarot, I guarantee you, they would tell you the same thing. If they didn't receive the information why they keep feeling spiritually attacked, it's because they're being guided to take a break away from that tarot. You shouldn't have to take it don't matter how many, bro, I'm telling you, I tried everything under the sun. It don't matter how many spiritual baths you take. It don't matter how much sage you burn, how much, what's that, there's a certain type of wood that you could burn. I forgot the name of that piece. It's like a piece of wood. Hold on, y'all. Palo Santo. That would, like, bro, it don't matter how many times you saved your house, open your windows, open your doors, sprinkle sea salt around your house, bless it with holy water, pray. If you continuously reading those tarot cards and you pulling out negative energies, it's going to just repeat the process all over again. You know? It's basically like, how can I say this? It's basically like if you have a pot on the stove, right? A pot with steam on it. Like you got the lid on the pot. You close the pot up, the steam's gonna stop, right? The minute you take that lid off that pot, the steam's gonna go everywhere. The steam's gonna keep on going on and on and on. That's basically what it is. You pulling the top off of something. It's like when you cleanse your house, you put the cars on, you cleanse your house. It's basically similar to a pot. When you put the top back on that, how can I say, when you put the lid back on the pot on the stove, the steam's gonna stop. I mean, it's still gonna be there, but when you pull that lid off, the steam's gonna continuously go on and on and on. It's gonna be all over again. You're gonna have to deal with it all over again. You know? And in order to stop it, I'm gonna tell you how you stop the issue. You don't just put the lid back on the pot. You turn the stove off, pull the pot. I'm gonna be very specific and detailed. Turn the stove off, all the way off. Take the pot off of the stove. Make sure you got rags in your hand if the handles are hot. Pour that hot water in the sink. And you leave it off. You can wash the pot out or whatever. Cool it down, like make sure it cools down with the water where it ain't hot no more. Clean the pot out. Make sure it's cooled off. It's not hot. Wash that pot out or whatever. Therefore, you ain't got to worry about all that steam having to go back over there. You see what I'm saying? That's an analogy. It's an analogy. But it's actually reality if you really think about it. It's reality. So it's basically saying if you do the same thing over and over and over, eventually the problem is not going to go away. It's not going to go away until you fully remove the problem, which you represent the steam. Even though you have a lid on that pot, you go over there, bro, and you still got that pot on with the steam or whatever, and you pull that lid off the pot, the steam gonna still be there. But if you turn that stove off, you clean the pot out, and you put it all down, like you completely get done with it, the steam's not there. The problem's no longer there. Okay, I'm gonna go along with a new analogy. No, not an analogy, but a new example. Think of a plant. Think of a plant you plant in the ground, right? A flower or whatever it is. It could be any kind of plant. You have to uproot the roots of that plant in order for it to not grow back. You have to get rid of the problem by its roots. That's the only way the problem will go away. Because if you really think about it, how can I say this? No, I'm going to just keep on with the message. You have to get rid of the roots of that plant in order to fully stop it from growing back. You have to get to its roots and uproot the roots. Because that's what roots in the ground, that's how it continuously is fed. That's what feeds that plant. It continuously grows by its roots. That's why the root is the main cause of why it's continuously growing back continuously. But when you rip the roots up, it has no else. It has nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best to explain how, you know what I'm saying? That's how I explain examples and analogies, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is. I'm trying my best, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you take the plant out the damn ground, that's what I'm trying to say. When you take the damn plant out the damn ground and you get the roots, it's not going to grow back. Damn it. It's not going to grow back. Sometimes I get agitated when I'm trying to say something, and it's like I feel like it ain't making sense, but I'm gonna be very specific. When you pull the plant out the ground, you get to the roots, pull the roots out the damn ground, the plant ain't gonna grow back. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not about to be sitting here going over and over and over, going over it 50,000 times and having to explain it. You know what I'm saying? It gets irritating. Damn it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off this video because I don't have the time to get irritated. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really irritated, though. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all. Anyways, getting back to the message. I greatly appreciate the love and support, y'all. Thank y'all very much. If y'all want to leave any donations, I will have a link in the description box below, okay? And just like I said, I'm not going anywhere. It's like when it comes to the channel, whatever, I'll still be here, but it's going to be considered something different for y'all, okay? But I just felt like I need to tell y'all what's really going on. That way y'all don't freak out. All right? But anyways, y'all have a great day out there. A great Sunday. Yeah, today's Sunday. I think it is. Well, hold on. Yeah, it's Sunday. Y'all have a great Sunday. Thank y'all very much for the love and support. I greatly appreciate that. If y'all want to send any donations, I will have a link in the description box below. And I will see y'all some other time, okay? Peace.